Dixon, Andre Dixon. Microphone to yourself. Two ladies are coming. Got two ladies coming in. Can you? Hello, and welcome to the show today. This is the Dr. Henderson, Organize, Don't Criticize, but you know me, I'm Pertis Williams. I'm here today sitting in for Doc. He called me and asked me, could I do it? And I said, of course I can. So we're going to jump right into it today. You know, I don't like to skip beats and give a long intro, but I got my man, Andre Dixon. He's a Jackson resident. Today I got two more guests that are supposed to be on the way. So we're going to open them phone lines up real quick. But Mr. Dixon, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
All right, tell the people who you are and how they can get in touch with you. What you do around town?
My name is Andre Dixon. I'm a local handyman, professional handyman. My number is 601-720-3563. You need anything done, just give me a call.
All right, now I didn't get any paperwork like Dr. Henderson, so we just gonna kind of shoot it out about the city and what's going on locally, nationally, internationally. We want to touch base, so people, if you're listening and you want to call in, please do. News today, Jackson, Mississippi. We got another indictment that was just handed down, and I don't have my phone on because I'm using it to do some recording. But I know that they mentioned Ward 1, Ward 2 has already been indicted. Ward 4, 5, and 7, they said they spoke to the people and they had conversations concerning this matter. They didn't mention Ward 3 and Ward 6. So that struck me as kind of odd, maybe because those people didn't have anything to do with it and they are good to go. That would be the blessing, because I'd hate to see that everybody in this city needs to be replaced. Doc doesn't think so, I do. And here's why I think it is a need to be replaced for everybody. It's because I look around the city and I remember what it looked like when I was young. And it doesn't look like that today. It looks worse. So when I'm looking at a city that looks worse than it did when I was a young man, then I think that it's the people in charge that are doing bad. Mismanagement of funds. So we got a whole lot of stuff going on in the city that we don't even know about, but I'm sure you've seen the Fondren area, that side of the train track. See, we've always talked about a train track city, but did we ever think we were in one? Could you ever think you were in a train track city?
No, but it seems so.
Well, have you seen what it looks like from Tougaloo? There's a train track right there, right?
Yes, sir.
Right in front of Tougaloo. All right, and then we come downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just stop in Fondren for a second, because we're right over there by the stadium, and you see the train track, right?
Yes.
All right, and let's come on downtown. We got the bus station. What's running right there? Train.
Yes.
All right, now, if we look at the east side of that track, it looks really nice.
Yes, picture perfect.
Picture perfect. Police everywhere, no crime. They working on streets, fixing stuff. If the streets aren't already in a good condition, that's the east side of the train track. Now let's look at the west side of the train track.
Oh man.
Tell me what we see that is being developed, or fixed, or remodeled, or funds put into.
It's neglected on that side.
Okay, so now we got a train track city, and that's the capital city. Now you can't tell me that I'm the only one who sees that. You can't tell me I'm the only one who sees it. Now if I'm the only one who sees that we in a train track city, but we're also in an all black city.
90%.
90%. And who's in charge of the city? People that look like you, me. So it would make sense to say that we're doing it to ourselves at this point.
It would seem so.
All right, because I remember when I was younger, we had some things on the west side of the track. We had some businesses on the west side of the track. So we want to talk about all the businesses that left. But what did we do to replace or keep businesses? You know, like what happened that was so terrible that everybody moved to the east side of the train track? Can you, Mr. Dixon, don't sit there and be quiet, man. Tell me what you think.
Well, you know, reality is
Because y'all voted for this.
Wherever you have a low income situations, you know, you may have a couple of down and out sprinkled in with that homeless, you know, people that need help, and you know, sometimes when you don't get that help, things just keep going, you know, being neglected. Just like those abandoned buildings, someone needs to contact those people and tell them if you're not gonna do anything with it, sell it to somebody or tear it down, you know.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And it seems like it makes a lot of sense for us to jump in there and say, hey, get in touch with that person, get them on out of here. We got another guest showing up. Come on in, Mr. Griffin Gordon. We talking about your city. So if you do have that person who owns the building, I think we need to go a little bit further than just calling them and telling them to come clean it up. There needs to be some type of ordinance in place to where if a certain amount of time goes by and you have still neglected it, then they start to bill you.
That's right.
And if not just bill you, let's seize some of your incomes and then let's force a sale if possible. But it doesn't make sense for it to just sit there for year after year after year and continue to bring blight to the area, bringing property values down and keeping investors out. We want to welcome in Ms. Griffin Gordon. How you doing, Ms. Griffin Gordon? Celeste, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Welcome back to the show.
Great.
As you
Love
see,
the topic you're talking about because that was one of the things that I was wanting to fight for.
okay.
We have to stop letting people buy properties and just sit on them waiting on a big payday. We have to stop.
And how many years of waiting are we allowing anyway?
Exactly.
So again, Mr. Dixon, Ms. Gordon, not sure if y'all know each other.
Hey, Mr.
Ward
Dixon,
2.
how you doing?
All right, so we want to keep going on with the city and how it's looking, but we also just finished talking about what just happened with this indictment. You know, that's kind of it's not looking good for the city as a now.
Right.
But I'll say in the future, I
Yes.
think we're looking pretty good.
That's right.
If we're starting to clean up some stuff and we're really seeing the FBI come in and find problems, I'm not finna sit here and go into they attacking the black folks. I'm not finna say that. I'm not gonna do that. Because I've seen them attacking the white folks too. So how about we just assume they attacking the bad folks? Why don't we just assume that?
Let's clean house.
Instead of us always assuming that this person was doing it too when they were in office, and we'll prove it then. Because I just saw Brett Favre up in Congress talking like they finna get on them. So if they holding everybody accountable, this ain't about color people. What if this is God saying this is an opportunity for y'all to change?
That's right.
I'm revealing all of this evil to y'all. I'm showing you all this corruption that you keep voting for. I'm going to open your eyes to it. I'm going to show you that the puffies at the top is hanging with the Oprahs and the Donald Trumps, who is hanging with the Montels and the Harrises. So we can sit here and point fingers, but why don't we just point it at the top and say that that's the problem, is we keep putting the top people back in the sun. You just wash and repeat them, ain't it? Get a different face, same team. So why don't we say that the FBI is doing a great job and commend them for coming and helping us clean up this city? That's what side I'm on. I'm like, man, if y'all can't get the rest, is there anything I can do to help you out?
So we can have progress.
Hey, if we're gonna have transparency, ain't that a word y'all politicians like to use?
I'm not a politician.
Who's responsible for the physical health of the city? Whose hands touches that money that first that's supposed to go towards the city's
I'm gonna get Ms.
physical
Gordon.
health?
Ms. Gordon, you probably know a lot more about that than I do.
He says, say the question again?
Who's responsible for the physical health? Or, you know, like when you come to the city, you see
The
potholes,
beautification. Yes.
and you might see
That's your mayor. Your mayor is responsible
Okay.
for
All right, the money that goes,
beautification of the city
the money
and the
that goes-
maintenance of the city.
the money that goes towards that, whose hand does it touch first? It's kind of hard to say. It's a group of people.
It's a group of
I
people.
think we have
because
finished firing everybody to find
the
out.
mayor, of course, you know, we have public works, a public works department, and that's one of their responsibilities to make sure we have our potholes fixed and the maintenance of the city, beautification of the city as well. All that goes kind of under that umbrella.
So you know how many
we have
people
a
work in
director.
public works? Because I hadn't seen a city employee in so many years.
Oh, wow. Well, right now we have a lot of things contracted out in the city.
No kidding.
That needs to be revisited. But I will say this: the city has always had great workers. The only thing they just want to be able to be paid fair, paid livable wages, and allowed to do their jobs.
I think that used to be the case at one time, wasn't it?
It used to be, but they've never really gotten the fair pay they deserved. Because you still have in 2024, you still have people on the city's payroll that's making $9-10 an hour.
Well, once again, I can go back to my plans and my research, and I found that that's not just a Jackson problem. That's a United States problem because of what happened in the 80s and the 90s when this country of elected officials froze wages.
Well, that too, but then when you have top heavy salaries, if you really are invested in your city and you really love your city, let's revisit how some of us are getting paid at the top.
Well, when I said froze salaries, I probably should have said at the bottom. See, at
exactly.
the top, they're not frozen.
No, they're not.
See, they're not frozen at the top. See, they're only frozen where we can't negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you go and apply for a job and it says it pays between 10 and 12, you don't get to negotiate past 12.
No, you don't.
See, and I don't have a friend who called me into the office and hired me. I applied for the job and I was hired.
And you needed a job, so you took that 10, because guess what? That 10 looked better than nothing.
But how does the superintendent get his job? Did he apply for it and put an application and send his resume, or was it somebody appointed him?
Sometimes,
Sometimes
who
it's
you know.
both.
Sometimes who you know.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's more of it's a friend of the friend and another friend, cousin, that I know somebody that got me the job. So the top doesn't do it the same way we do.
That's right.
So when we're talking about frozen wages, let me be specific. I'm talking about the hard-working,
Yes.
job
Everyday
application applying, career builder using, what's that other one?
Indeed,
Indeed, filler outer.
Zillow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Zillow.
talking about 90% of us. See, that's a larger number. We don't really think about how many people are involved in 10%. See, if it's 350 million people, how many are 10%? That's 35 million people.
That's right.
And we're not thinking about that. How many is that per state? That's how many overseers you actually have who are keeping you from achieving your dream.
That's right.
And see, we're not looking at that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
We thinking it's the 1%, they kind of small numbers, and no, baby. It's a lot of them out there that are trying to keep their foot on your neck, keep you doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then we got a team over here, they gonna blame the white man for it.
So basically, what we got to do.
Team over here gonna blame the liberals for it.
So we really got to come together because the elderly, I ain't gonna say, sometimes, you know, as you get older, you get a little too weak to fight.
You
and
do.
And the younger folks, they need to be taught how to fight. So
Exactly.
it's kind of like it's our job to kind of really kind of step in and keep this voice going. Because if you don't say nothing about it, you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease. So
That's right. But one of the
Who
key
taught us
things
how
you
to fight?
just said, there's no teaching. You have people who have been in positions for years and they're not reaching behind them, picking up someone else to come in and teach them the ropes so they can be able to lead the next generation that's coming up. So we have to be, as I love when Dr. Henderson says, instead of criticizing, we have to start organizing.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to be the ones that say, okay, the city isn't doing it for us. So let's get this group together collectively and let's work in and go in and change things that we see is not right.
Yeah.
One of the things that's disheartening is how many voters are voting. They're just not voting. And it's sad because I heard a lot of people say, who to vote for? There are no really good people. Who to vote for?
Yeah.
And when we think about it, when we look at things, we have to give people good people to look at when it comes to these positions. And then we have to hold people accountable, or we will never be able to move forward.
All right, we got a call coming in, and I don't know how to bring it in.
The same.
You know how to work this thing?
We're going to keep repeating the same pattern.
All right, we got a caller. Caller, you are live. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How you doing?
How you guys doing this afternoon? It's Priscilla Donahue.
We are doing well.
How
Thanks
you
for calling
doing?
in.
Hello.
I'm all right. How you guys been doing?
All
We're
right.
doing good. Tell us what you got on your mind.
I am deeply concerned about our country. More so, I'm concerned about Jackson and with our mayor. And I try to speak on facts and things that I know for a fact.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I look around Jackson and the things our mayor has had the power to do and has not done, I'm very disappointed in things that and then and not only that, but he's stopping other people from doing things that they can do. I was looking at the news about 3 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and Chief Wade was just asking it to let me do my job.
That's right.
You know,
Let
and I
him do
heard
his
other people
job.
say, let me do my job. So if the mayor's not doing his job, then he won't let other people do his job. But yet and still these people sit on their behind and let him, talking about putting them back in office again. I know it's a thing called insanity going around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's something in the drugs or something in the food, but the people act like they done lost their blasted mind around here for real.
You are right
You
about
see
that.
you see people that are not doing what they're supposed to do, but yet and still you keep on re-electing them.
You know
And I'm
what?
like, what is wrong with y'all?
I'm
What is
trying
wrong with these people?
And maybe
Miss
we
Donahue.
need to get the word
That's
out
right.
more.
It becomes a popularity contest, Miss Donahue. And that's what we're going to have
Yeah.
to stop voting on, who's popular. We need to vote on people that's going to do the work. Because it's time. It's time out for Jackson to continue to struggle and look the same way it's been looking for over 20 years.
It
Miss
looks
Donahue.
worse.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I'm taking time. And then like the incident I called Hardy about the on Ellis and Woodrow Wilson. You got to pick up your car down there by the railroad track and turn it on your back to miss all these holes.
Yeah.
And then and it's putting the blame on somebody else. Well, he said, well, I put the request in months ago. You put it in months ago. Well, how come it ain't fixed?
That's right.
But then time they want to be reelected, then here they come. They want to get in the churches. They want you to vote for them.
That's
But
right.
you guys are not. They should be held accountable for all these lies that they get up and they tell us, and they're not doing.
Well, we got to hold them accountable ourselves come election time. It's like what you just said. If we're going to go back in there and vote for the same people again, that is our insanity.
We're
That's
asking for it.
insanity.
That's
And our
asking for
governor put himself back in office. You had 13 you've never heard of that before. 13 precincts, people couldn't vote, which it should have been done again. But you understand that letting him go away at 10 o'clock, you announcing yourself governor of Mississippi. That's unheard of. He didn't even have time to count the votes. But you closed down 13 precincts where people were not unable to vote. Now, where's the justice in that?
Well, one of the things we got to do is like we were just talking about Dr. Henderson's plan of organizing and not criticizing.
That's right.
We need to show up to the polls on election day. We need to show
I'm
up.
criticizing because
I'm talking about, no.
black
I mean,
people making excuses. See, they make excuses. If you notice, Democrats make excuses on what they're trying to do.
That's
Right.
But Putin get in there and they do what they want to do. Now, there's no way in hell that Donald Trump should be running for the president of the United States. The man had 99 felony counts.
Well, once
How are you
again,
able to run for the president of the United States of America?
Miss
And you got
Donahue.
people in jail. We need to open the doors, and everybody got a felony anywhere near here. They need to let everybody else out of jail. If they
right
never
wrong.
get away with it, why can't other people get away with it?
well, the system is broken at home, it's broken in Washington, and the only thing we can do is get them all out of there.
That's right.
See, if
When
we
are we
go
gonna
in
do
there,
that? When are we gonna do that?
it's
Hold
coming
on.
up in November for one,
Miss-
and so now we can do the insanity thing again. See, since this is what you want to talk about, so I'm gonna go in there with you.
Mhm.
We can do the insanity
We don't have time
thing
to go
because
into
we've been playing tennis between
Mhm.
Democrat and Republican. We've been playing tennis for 48 years, back and
Right.
forth, back and forth.
Fine
Now,
word.
and did nobody ever research that there's a Green Party, There's another party and another party. Now, if we organized and we sat down and really looked at it, most of the people in America don't identify as Democrat or Republican, but that's who we go vote for every time. And what do we get every time?
I guess the lesser of the two evils.
Nothing.
Right. So if somebody
It's insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different, but you're getting the same in return, right?
So if you want to say I got a lesser of two evils, then I got the devil and I got the devil's son. One of them is lesser evil than the other. Now, on the other side over here, I got somebody I ain't never heard of before. But I know the other two are evil.
Miss Donnie, we thank you for your call, sweetheart.
Yeah, try to vote on that one you don't know either.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
you all.
Thank you.
Miss Donnie, you had some great points, though. Guys, you can call in if you have a comment or a question. The number is 601-948-5950.
And our other guests just showed up.
Yes, we want to talk about this insanity. The only way we stop insanity is get off the hamster wheel.
Is to do something different. Miss Bridgette Morgan up in here now. We got a judge running for up in here. How you doing today, young lady?
I'm well. How are you?
We doing well. Mr. Dixon is Miss Morgan.
How you doing, Mr. Dixon?
All right, so we in here having a fight for the city. We fighting for these children, and we want y'all to call in and help fight with us, because at the end of the day, that's what's important. The future the children will be living in.
That's right.
See, right now, we dealing with our bad votes. See, I'm 51 years old. I've been voting bad for a long time. And I'm not finna sit up here and say I made not one logical vote before this one coming up. I didn't read a whole lot. I didn't do a whole lot.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
No,
you are like Steve on Django.
This is called accountability time, sir. I'm being accountable for my lack of caring,
I got you.
my lack of research, and my lack of focus. You know, when it comes down to it, we got to focus on this. This ain't where you want to eat tonight. This ain't that. This ain't where you want to eat tonight, and then we go, oh, well, let's go get this. And then we eat it in this one day. No, this is a decision we make that lasts for 2, 4, 6 years.
That's right.
And 8. Supreme Court.
And 8 years. So we can't just sit up here and vote because mama liked them.
That's right.
I can't keep doing that. I can't do it because they look like me. They sounded real well.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we got right now, if we don't have the worst storm going on I've ever seen.
Literally.
I'm talking about this is the hottest mess of garbage. We are looking at the United States being laughed at. If you ever look at news overseas, they have never laughed harder.
Oh, they formed a group against us.
Yeah, they have never laughed harder at us. So what we gonna do come November is if we're gonna go in there and try something different, or we gonna send the world back what we keep sending them. War, mongering, greedy, destructive individuals. Don't y'all get quiet in here because I ain't on the team of neither.
Oh, we're just practicing active listening.
Yeah.
Don't say something now. What y'all got in here? We got the
But you know, my thing
Harry
is,
Jackson going to jail out here look like in politics.
my thing is what Mr. Dixon said earlier. I just want to talk about that again. Mr. Dixon, you are so right. It costs us nothing to keep our city beautiful, right? Keeping the maintenance up on the city. We have enough misdemeanor offenders in the city of Jackson
Wow, yeah.
that we can have them cleaning up our streets. So when people come into the city, they can see an actual clean city. My son's school this Saturday, they're having cleanup around the school of Powell. And those things like that, like keeping our schools clean for our children, making sure the schools are safe where they're going around, where they're coming out and they're seeing, so we can teach them about the importance of not littering. We have to start young with our young people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are not taught, and we can't get mad at them because they just don't know. Nobody is stopping to talk to them and tell them and explain to them. And school is so far removed from teaching. When we were growing up, they taught us the basics of the fundamentals of life.
They whooped us too.
Yeah, they whooped us too. Yeah, but
I think
now
we should bring that back.
I believe we should bring back prayer
And
school.
we should raise the age of whooping.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
They do it overseas. They whoop grown people overseas.
That's what I'm saying. We need to bring the age up. See, a lot of y'all don't like the discipline part. But at the
But
end
you
of the
need
day,
discipline.
it is needed.
It's needed.
You can teach an old dog new tricks.
You can.
You just gotta whoop them.
Okay. All right then.
Discipline.
So that's coming from.
Whoop them, discipline them.
Same thing.
Whichever words
That's
make
coming from
y'all
Dr.
feel
Williams.
fluffy inside. Yeah, whatever
I
words make
come-
you feel fluffy.
Hey, look.
I'm the
Hey, look.
gentle parenting era.
I
Gotta
am
whoop 'em,
not.
look. Gotta whoop 'em, or they're gonna end up singing Judge Morgan.
Yeah, I don't do gentle parenting. See, that's a new word. See, I just do parenting. If you need gentle, you'll get gentle. If you need these hands are available. I don't do gentle parenting for nobody. I do parenting, period.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you that if y'all want to see something funny, you go back to an interview with Sean Connery and Barbara Walters.
Oh, I saw that
You saw that?
interview.
Okay, if you
He
saw that,
said,
can you
okay to smack
can
her
you
every now and
please
then.
say what Sean Connery? Now this is Sean Connery.
Yeah.
This
James
is
Bond.
James 007.
You know, he was saying it was okay to smack your woman every now and then.
And, but
She
why
needs
did
it.
but why did he say?
She needs it. She
But
needs
no, I'm saying-
discipline.
But what he said.
That was his opinion, y'all.
That was his opinion.
No,
Yes,
when
that
he-
was his
He
opinion.
said sometimes you need it because you go back and forth with it, and I gave you the answer, and you just keep coming at me. He said sometimes you need a little smack. Now that's Sean Connery. That's one of the man's of the man's man. And in the 80s, every woman loved him and called him the man.
Until they found out he was right here smacking them.
That's because of O.J. Simpson. I'm just trying to tell y'all, O.J. messed it up for a lot of
Oh, my
people.
goodness.
And I'm not saying that I'm in the smacking business. I've never hit a woman in my life. However,
You like living.
no, I don't think that that's the thing to do for me.
That's
I'll take
right.
off running personally. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm attacked by a woman, then she's finna get beat up by a man. I'm not finna take no L's because you losing your mind. Don't think
Attorney
that.
Morgan, do you hear this?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm being attacked.
What happened to chivalry?
It's dead.
Make sure you give him your retainers.
No, it's called don't be attacking no man. See, if you attack a man, you finna get these hands. Don't be attacking me. Get some counseling is what I need you to go do.
Yes.
See,
we
don't
need
be
to
coming attacking
promote
me.
counseling.
We
That's
need
right.
to get some counseling. See, I'm a big old 240-pound man. What you look like grabbing me?
You know what we need though?
That's called
we need
insane.
Defusing classes so people can learn how to redirect the anger into just a
Oh,
conversation
yes,
and not
yes.
physical anger. Because
Exactly.
nowadays these
Conflict
folks are so
resolution.
ready to fight.
It needs to
They
start.
ready to
And it has to
shoot
start
you
with
in
our
the
I don't know if
children.
y'all noticed in the hood, it's ridiculous. These guys hop out the car with the gun on their hip, AR-15s, going in the store. I'm saying, come on.
Yes, they
But
do.
listen though, you can't. Dr. Williams said, Pertis said,
These hands.
these hands. Then you want to also turn around and teach your children not to use these hands. Make
No.
that
I ain't never said
He
that.
said-
We have to,
No.
we have to have
He
conflict
talking about
resolution.
parental override.
Now,
But
see,
I know, but I'm saying, but here's
when
the
did
thing,
I
though.
say these
But
kids
here's-
can't use hands?
No, but this
You
is what
talking
this is
about.
when you use the type of discipline you're talking about with your hands.
Parenting.
Right, it's parenting, but the kids are going to do as you do and not as you say. So
And
if
that's
you're
what they need to
using
do.
your hands to parent them,
Right.
then they're going to use their hands to parent a conflict resolution to the
No,
next parent.
that's not how that works. See, we gotta be real now.
But
See, as a
what
youth young man,
what you saying is
youth young man,
each
situation.
I'm with both of y'all because every child is different.
Every child is
Because this is weird, and
I agree.
people laugh when I say this. But both my sons, I never had to whip them.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to whip them. They were so eager for structure and instructions that they received it well. And when they got going, I said, man, I ain't never had to whip them. I had to hug them and thank them.
Yeah.
But see, that don't mean
I
every
was
kid.
not
Because guess
that
what?
kid.
I got plenty of whoopings.
Me too. I was a different kid though.
Yeah,
but see, we were outside kids.
Yeah, we were.
See,
Oh,
we were throwing rocks. Kids.
Oh, what you talking about?
We were setting fires, kids.
In the creek, crawdad
We
kids.
were catching snakes, kids.
Yeah.
My mama looked at me and I
Right.
had to sit down somewhere.
That's
I
right.
didn't
Street
have
lights.
to-
Right. We
Street
was
light
running, that's what I
in
just
the
about to
house.
say.
That's-
We were running to the
That's
house
all it took.
trying to beat the street light home.
Yeah.
See, we were
One
a
look from your mama, that
whole
was
group of
it.
different.
And
then
you knew
when
what
she
it
gave-
meant.
And then when she gave
So-
the silent treatment, it was deadly.
So y'all ain't had to whoop your kids who
Well, see,
stay in the
I'm-
house
you
all
know
day
what-
and
you know
play
what
video games?
We had a grandma with a big switch. See, that's
Yeah.
see, these grandmas ain't got a switch no more.
We were
No.
outside until the sun went down. But see, if you in the house playing video games all day,
Yeah.
you on the Xbox all day, I can understand you ain't never had to whoop your kid.
But also too, guys,
What they get into?
what we're missing.
Internet bullying.
All right, exactly. All right, Dr. Williams. What
Them
we're
jokers
missing
probably got self-esteem problems.
is we are missing the structure of the home and the family. We had grandmothers.
Do we want to have that
We
conversation?
had mothers.
It's
and
2
we
on 2
had-
in here.
Y'all broke it down. That's what's probably
we
the
missed
government right
it.
now.
That's
Yeah.
and that's what's problem with the government. You know, we grew up in an era where if I was doing something I had no business, Miss Katie saw me.
Yeah.
She corrected me. Then she told my mama, and my mama got on me again.
Got on, yeah.
We're missing that because
Right.
now parents are so protective and don't want anybody to say anything to their child,
Mm-hmm.
but their child needs correction. And children don't always act up in front of their parents. We know that.
That's
And one of
true.
the things I have to always give teachers hats off to, because during COVID, we learned that some of us don't like our children.
Well,
But teachers are stuck with our children all day long. So we want to fight teachers that tell us that our child is acting up. You know your child.
And so you know what they did, then? Now some teachers, not all, are pushing kids along who need extra education.
Exactly.
But they push them along because
Yeah,
guess
but
what?
they wait.
I don't want to deal with her mom and dad's
Yep.
mouth.
That's right.
And I want to do that child acting up because they know I can't do nothing to
That's
them.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I
That's
heard that
right.
you can't even flunk them if you wanted to. They said there's no child left behind.
Not anymore.
Hold
They
up.
can flunk you.
When y'all was
They
in
can
school,
flunk 'em again now?
what was the low A when y'all was in school? When I was in school, low A was
95.
95.
You know what the low A is?
Oh
now?
yeah, it's a 90.
73 or something.
It's what would have been a high C now. Yeah, they didn't change it. It's
A
like
84?
a 85.
Get out
Yeah,
of here.
man, look it up. They said they're lowering it so
They changed the
low.
grading scale.
Well, once again, when I hear parents come in and say these kids are so smart, these kids are doing so much better, I say you obviously hadn't talked to them.
You know what hurt us? Zoom hurt us.
You clearly hadn't talked to these kids if you think they're so smart, because I actually, from an honest standpoint, talked to them. And those award ceremonies, like you said, it's an 85 is an A.
Yeah,
A F is a 12. What are we doing?
I mean, kids now 10 that can't write, 3 years old that can't talk.
I know somebody who said is a 6th grader who couldn't recognize his own name.
I'm not a girl
So-
who graduated from Callaway. She can't write curse.
So what we're talking about is
they took that out the schools at one point.
a
They
few
did.
children are doing well.
They did. It's back now because people understood they had to learn how to write cursive, because how would they ever have a signature? That's when they brought it back.
You know what they did that right? Now they could tell what area you from because you signed your name in manuscript.
Well, once again, I'm going to say parents, if you have children, you are seeing what they're doing to the school system. You know they had a harder curriculum when we were young.
Yes,
It's up to y'all to go in there and fight for your superintendents to be replaced. It's actually, we need to just replace everybody. Let's just be real, because at the end of the day, you're not going to tell me that the food is bad, the air is bad, and the water bad, and the politicians we got in place are good. You're not finna tell me that and make it make sense. These are the same people who allowed monopolies to exist in our food system. They got a recall right now. They pulling Walmart meats around the country. Now, how is it that around the country, not just one state, several states being affected by one company?
Somebody up top messed up.
It's someone we messed up. See, we gotta quit blaming them. It's us. We voted for them. They just allowed it.
Oh, my bad. I thought you wanted the bad meat coming through.
Yeah, no, the bad meat, that's us too. See, we wanted convenience. I didn't want the chickens in my backyard no more. They didn't say I couldn't have them,
That's right.
but it was easy for me to go up here to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't want the eggs in my backyard. They were free now. They were right there. I didn't want to go get the feed for the chicken. I didn't want the hogs and the pigs. We wanted convenience, and they gave it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they gave us was the worst convenience you can get, because now chickens don't peck in the yard and get vitamins and minerals that you need. They eat one thing: corn
All day.
all day.
Yeah.
And steroids,
Yeah.
because it's needing big and fat, so we can get that chicken fast, because we like
we consume
convenience.
them.
So what we've done is we've given our food control to convenience, and our children are paying for that with mental health issues, dietary issues, and now look at us. Half the people in Jackson on some kind of pills.
Mm.
So what are we doing really? we need to get the people in place who can look at this and say, we need to change direction. I got plans to help us change direction.
Yes, let's talk about them.
Let's talk about them plans. I got some plans to help
Before
us
you
change
talk
direction.
about it, the grading scale has changed for 2024 to 2025, but an A is still from 100 to 90. That's still
Oh,
an
my
A.
bad. I was
A
sorry.
90.
A 90, but it used to be 95.
It used
when
to
we
be
were in school.
95.
Yeah,
So-
it was much tougher for us.
So yeah, they gave them an extra 5 points to No Child Left Behind them,
My bad.
so that there'll be more. You know, somebody had to get an A.
Somebody had to get an A. That's right.
Somebody had to get an A. If wasn't nobody gonna get an A, then it looked like the teacher being mean.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But-
teacher ain't doing the job.
But I tell you though, I knew
But we
education
still-
was messed up when I heard about grade curves.
Yeah, grade curves, but then also too, we still need to talk about. We still don't know what COVID had really done to our babies, because we had a lot of babies who.
Now before that, we was messing up. We was already headed down here. COVID was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, but see, we still hadn't bounced back from that. And I
That's
think we need to be looking more at our children as a standpoint of how did COVID really and truly affect them, those that had it, those that did not, and how did it affect their learning? Because I have a son that's 12 now, and when he had to sit down at a computer and listen to his teacher, I was waking him up constantly.
I had
So
to
there
wake
was
up
a
to
lot
that.
of there was a lot of
Remember
things that they
I
missed.
said Zoom kind of messed us up a little bit.
Yes.
Unless you're gonna give these kids coffee.
You really need human interaction.
You need it,
They did a science
especially.
experiment. They
They
took two
do.
lab rats. They gave one love and food and talked to it and played music, did everything with that rat. Other rat, they just left it alone and just put some food and some water in the feed. That rat died in 26 months. The other one lived and flourished.
That's the same thing I try to tell us. We out here trying to live our best life, single, think we don't need nobody. Let me tell y'all something. There's no reason for you to be here alone. That is not why God put you here. The word love itself means other people. So our lack of knowledge based on just that one simple word, love, that means community. That means interactions. Just like you were just saying about the rat, you can do the same thing with a plant. The same exact thing with a plant. You can do it with some rice in a jar.
Yep, I've seen.
You can do it with a cube of ice. So if we know all of this, then why aren't we fighting harder to communicate with each other?
That's right.
See, I don't try to get on them kids and work on them kids. I got to work on these grown-ups. These grown-ups is the issue. The who?
The red man. Oh, yeah.
We're going to need you to come over here and push the button again because we don't know. We don't know what we're doing.
With the red
The
button.
red button.
Right here, top.
All right. Caller, you are on the air, we think.
Hey, I've heard you guys mention about the kids not going outside anymore, being in the house all the time on PlayStation and video games and things like that. Well, as a 60-year-old man, of course, I grew up outside,
Right.
and as the chief Wade always says when there's an incident in our city, he says people don't know how to resolve conflict.
Right.
And by myself growing up outside, you had no choice but
You had
to
no
resolve your
choice.
conflict,
That's right.
Good point.
peacefully, because your friends were having so much fun outside playing basketball or kickball or whatever. So you decided to resolve that so you could continue
To play.
being outside and having
That's
so much
right.
fun.
You know, I
But
think
these
about
kids,
it.
they have no social skills at all because they're always inside on these video games and stuff, and they don't know how to resolve any conflict.
That's
They
right.
don't see and meet with each other,
Mhm.
and they're not talking with each other and enjoying each other's company every day. So
Man, you
how
need
can
to-
they resolve conflict?
And if they're not on the game, they're on TikTok.
But you make a good point though, because there's something else I thought about when he was talking about that resolving conflict. We all played together.
Exactly.
Like my brother was 4 years older than us, but we still played with them. We were all playing in the same field, football, basketball, whatever playing. But it was the older kids kind of policing the younger
That's
kids.
right.
And that tradition never changed, you know. Even when we played football, the younger kids played, they just didn't play those certain positions. But they were still participating. So, Carla, you are 100% on that one. Like, We used to fight out there in that field,
But got along.
and the next day we back out there again.
That's right.
Because like you said, we can't stay in the house.
And let me just make one more comment, and it's going to kind of go in a different direction, but it's still along the same thing. When Chief Wade, the other day, we had an officer-involved shooting. Chief Wade got on the air and said that, his officer was real disturbed and, he wasn't doing well because he had to discharge his firearm. Yeah. Well, Chief, that's not good, because it gives me the impression that your officers are soft, that they don't want to do what they have to do to take care of not only themselves, but the public. If one of your officers have to pop one of them no good doing nothing rascals, then don't feel sorry for him. Your officer did what he was trained to do. So don't get on the air and say, my officer is really distraught and this and that. No, my officer is clapping his hands because he maybe saved somebody else's life.
Now, Carla, now I will say this because it's such a mental health issue that we're dealing with here in the city. And that's not just with the younger kids, it's with the older ones too. So I really, feel sorry for the police because they having to deal with these people struggling with mental health issues. And I think the police are aware of it, that a lot of these people have mental health issues, and the last thing they want to do is have to shoot them. So when we have that situation come up to us, it's like I was telling Attorney Morgan, I don't want to put these hands on you, but don't make me do it. Because like my mom used to say, I used to go cry after I whooped y'all. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. That's what she said. I don't know if she did it. But it's kind of like the officer is like, would you not make me have to do this?
Yeah. But I understand what you're saying.
Where you're coming from with that. But at the same time, an officer only has a split second to make a decision. He can't diagnose your mental state while you got a gun pointed at him.
That's right. And Carla,
he got a gun pointed at him.
I was gonna say something to Dr. Williams about that. Some people have mental health issues, but a lot of these children are on drugs and they listen to all this god awful music.
That's true.
And it's influencing them to act in those ways.
But you gotta, again, it's from an officer standpoint. I know they on drugs, but why are they on drugs? Poverty is why we have so many situations like we got. And if we don't have jobs available, there is no MCI WorldCom here anymore. There's no Packet Electric. There is no real jobs for the parents. So the kids don't even have access to a better life.
But they have access to guns.
No, they got access to an escape. It's an escape. So unless you have been without anything and just down in the escape, is easy to go after. It's not just, I'm not trying to take up for them and whatever they do, but I've been there, and the escape from that reality is tempting. It's easy to go after, and it take God to get you away from that.
Well, just to answer a different perspective, no respect to that officer. He might have took an opportunity to get some days off. I'm not
going to approve that message at all, Mr. Dixon.
Laugh the hills.
As a former police attorney, having worked with Chief Wade, I know that Chief Wade believes in community policing. Yeah. And he believes in humanity first. And at the end of the day, he wants to show that the officer more than likely thought twice and has humility about it, and that we don't have these officers who are overzealous, right? And especially in these times that we're living in, where we have all these officer-involved shootings, Tamir Rice and people of that nature. It's just to show the public that, hey, we don't have overzealous officers, and even when we have to do difficult things, it still hurts us. We're still offended by it. So I want to share that with the caller who may assume that the officers are soft, but I can tell you Chief Wade is a very community-oriented chief.
Yeah, and I don't know him well. I have never met him. I'm only seeing the community things he's doing, the outreach into the community. I love that. I know that was something I brought up at a meeting once, is we need to know our officers.
That's right.
I used to know the police when I was young.
That's right.
They used to stop by sometime and wave and get out and come on the post, talk granddaddy. gone. You know what I'm saying? We actually knew them. So when they saw you on the street, they say, "Hey, ain't you Robert grandson, boy? Get on home." And you get home, and by the time you get there, he done already called, and you finna get them hands. So it was a different life then, and I think we want to try and get back to that.
Closest to that as we can.
But last night I was listening to the Judge show with Miss Wild and Randy, and they brought up something I didn't know. Jackson had at one time over 400 police officers. Yeah. Now we're somewhere under 200, and then they said that's why
we're not under 200 police officers.
Well, maybe I'm a little off on the numbers.
No, you're repeating what you heard. I'm gonna again, being a police attorney. There are over 200 police officers now. Okay. I think we're almost, if not fully staffed enough to be able to get the grants that we needed. So a lot of officers have come back.
All right, so like I said, I don't know, but I know that they were saying that they were trying to increase the police presence with the Capitol Police. Yes. And so, Carla, you in? What you got, Carla?
Hello, yes. Good evening, everyone. I would like to say this comment is for that the guy that called in, and for that man that's sitting there in that station with you all talking about how the Chief Wade should have been happy or thrilled that his officer had to kill someone. Evidently you all never had a family member that had that trauma behind someone getting shot in the streets of Jackson. How dare you all applaud someone, an officer having to have to shoot someone, and and she's right. You don't know if they had mental illness, because some of the stuff going on around here in the city of Jackson, not only the city of Jackson, I don't know, because I work in Madison and Rankin County also, and dealing with individuals with mental health issues or whatnot. So I hope that officer is getting the therapy, the treatment, or the counsel, whatever he needs to be at the house, from have that traumatic experience and having to fire his weapon at someone. And I hope that they can thrive, come back and thrive like they should, because that is very traumatic, very traumatic. And sound like you all are from Rankin County.
Oh no! Now see, Carla, I agree with her. I think that's what I said.
I think we all collectively agree.
And I think that everybody in the studio.
The caller called in and said that Chief Wade should be happy, but we all agree that either there was some mental issues or that Chief Wade is full of community policing and humanity. So let's clear that up. Nobody in this station.
You don't want anybody shooting anybody.
Yeah, well, then none of us were. That was the caller, and I think that once the caller made that statement, I quickly said,
exactly.
Let's not look at it from that standpoint. So I do understand the caller's frustration, though, because like she said, if you've been a family member of somebody who has been shot by the police, you are not looking at this the same way someone is watching the news. See, my standpoint is we got mental health issues out here, and we need to protect the people, but we also need to protect the officers who just signed up for a job to serve and protect. He didn't come out here to be a therapist, but at the same time, I don't think none of us were prepared for the mental health issues that we're facing right now.
That's right.
I think COVID showed us how bad they were when we got locked in the house together and we had to actually talk to each other, something we're not used to doing. See, I couldn't text you right here in front of me. So we had a high divorce rate. I know I was affected by that. We had a high divorce, suicide went up. What didn't go up during COVID? So
everything went up.
If we want to look at this from a standpoint of humanitarians, we got to start caring about each other a little bit more. We all remember the 80s when we started acting like it. We got somebody about to get out of here. Who's leaving?
Attorney Bridgette Morgan. I have to take my son to football.
And what you in here for? What you going for?
Attorney Bridgette Morgan is running for Hinds County Court Judge, Subdistrict 2, asking for those in most of South and West Jackson to remember me on November the 5th. I'm the only woman in the race, the only one who's provided a platform and giving you a solution and not a, an idea, but actually a plan that can be put in place on day one. and I'm excited to take the bench if you elect me. And I'm looking forward. I've had so much fun contacting the community and being able to talk with them and show them my platform. And it's been a good experience. And so again, Attorney Bridgette Morgan, like Morgan and Morgan for the people, November the 5th. Thank you.
All right, y'all heard it now. She's gonna be the only lady on there. So hey, all of Jackson, remember the name.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna try to get one of these folks in here to run for mayor. Because it looks like we got some issues that we need to deal with. This at the top, and I mean at the very top. I mean, I would really, and I'm talking about 90.1, you going around the country, around the state, and now 100,000 watts. This is what I really want us to take a look at. Let's look at unifying the state of Mississippi. Not just unifying black folks, but let's unify white folks, black folks, Mexican folks, Asian people. Let's get the people from Pakistan, the people from India. Let's get all the people who we know, who we've seen in our community, in our surrounding areas, and let's have a conversation about what the future of Mississippi should look like. Why aren't we looking for the future of Mississippi? Not for what we heard happened in the 60s. I don't want to hear about another civil rights march. I want to know, how are these children going to sit back in 20 years and say, we did as adults?
We left them a good city.
That's what I'm saying.
We left them a good blueprint.
Are they going to say, we thank y'all for finally coming together and fighting for us in 2024 and forward, so that now we got clean water?
That's right.
Now the streets are clean.
That's right.
Now the schools are good.
That's right.
That's what we need to start in 2024 in November. I'm sorry we couldn't start it in October, but it ain't over.
It ain't over.
Come November, we have another opportunity to say, hey, we don't like what we're seeing, whether it is at a city level, a county level, a state level, or a country level. We do not like what we're seeing, and guess what? Don't re-elect anybody.
That's right.
Nobody.
That's right. Dr. Williams, I just want to tell people, just give a tidbit of information about your water. So if you have been seeing that $40 fee, that's called an availability fee. And that fee basically is there because of your meter. So if you have a large meter, they're charging you an extra $40 on your water bill.
And what is a large meter, though? What is a large
I don't know what a large meter is.
Because I saw my meter.
Well, it's about
That's per month.
They got to do some remodeling. So what you do, you can't go up on water, so you go up on products that they produce.
That's horrible, because you have people who's living on fixed incomes.
Exactly.
And they're now trying to see if they'll be able to pay the water bill or get all their medicine.
Right.
So we can't be quiet anymore as citizens and as residents here in Jackson. We cannot be quiet, and we cannot allow this to go on. So if you hear about water meetings, if you get the notifications in the mail about an upcoming meeting or be a part of the water council.
You get notifications in the mail? Hold up, wait a minute.
They're supposed to be sending notifications in the mail.
Now,
please don't throw them in the garbage.
I have never received one.
Yeah, they're supposed to start doing that. In the words of Elder Henderson, let's stop criticizing. Let's start organizing people. It's going to take us collectively working together, all of us working together, to fight against those things, because it may not affect you today, but guess what?
It's going to affect you.
It's going to affect your bottom line soon.
$40 now going to be $80 in the next
Exactly. And if we continue to be quiet and act like we don't see it, they will keep on sliding it up and sliding it up.
You know what it is, right? The rich folks making prices for poor folks.
Right.
They don't understand. Well, they make $40. They got $40.
No,
taxation.
they don't have $40.
Exactly.
Because that
$40.
$40 is killing some people right now.
It is. It's taxation
fair.
without representation.
Right.
It's the same thing that this country went to war over. So right now, I really want to say this, though. Our elected officials getting rich while they explaining to us why we staying poor. Make that make sense to me. Your elected officials are all getting rich, but they have an excuse for why you staying poor. They got a reason every time now. It's a reason why you still poor and we not bringing in any jobs and you overtaxed and the water's bad and the food is bad. And there's a reason for all these things. And you just need to elect me one more time.
So you can go through
So I can fix it, but I'm in office now not fixing it.
Financial slavery.
No, it's us being programmed over and over again to do the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. We're on a, what you call it, a rat thing?
Mm-hmm. A hamster wheel.
A hamster wheel.
Going round and round.
We running around that wheel, ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere. Also, I have an announcement for you too, Dr. Williams.
Yes,
You're going to love this. Flip the slip from red to blue is going to be held. It's a Get Out and Vote rally on Tuesday, October 22nd. From 5:30 to 6:30 at the Jackson Medical Mall.
And when is that going to be?
This Tuesday.
This Tuesday.
October 22nd from 5:30 to 6:30. Come out. Let's see if we can get some things changed.
I would like to take a different approach to that. I would love to talk to them because
you would love to. You definitely would love to talk to them.
What if we didn't try to flip it, but let's repaint it all together?
Okay.
See, I don't want to take you from what you comfortable with. I want to take you from what you comfortable with. Let's create something new together, though.
We can do that.
Let's meet in the middle. See,
I tell you.
I used to do it prior to humanity. I used to go out there and talk to them, hit the streets, grab a Republican by the hand and a Democrat, and I talked to them in the middle of the street and found out, guess what?
We have more similarities.
They want the same thing.
That's right.
Just got a different t-shirt on.
That's it.
But what they wanted their children to have a better chance than they had.
That's right.
When it all boiled down, they wanted their children to have opportunities that they didn't have. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I'm gonna have to owe Dr. Henderson a check because I'm telling you, ever since he said it to me one time, instead of criticizing, let's organize. I have been on that. I even look at things differently now.
Well, we got 2 minutes, y'all. We're gonna have to bust up out of here. Mr. Dixon, what you gonna get to people before you run out? Don't say you want to shoot nobody now. We don't need no more calls.
It's just what she just said. Organize, not criticize.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, my saying for 2024 is we're gonna be the change that we want to see. Mm-hmm. We're gonna save us.
That's right.
All right, now I like that. And Mr. Dixon, how can I get in touch with you again?
601-720-3563.
All right, y'all know he's the handyman. If you need some hands, holler at that man. Miss Griffin Gordon, I know you. I know we had talked about it, but I ain't gonna announce it. I don't want you to quit running. I say jog on down there to the next one.
You know, we're gonna help get this city
right
to where it needs to be, whether I'm elected or not. I love Jackson. When I said that, I meant that. Our children are our future, and we have to start investing in them now so we can give them the blueprint so they can carry this on for the next generation and the next generation. We have to start stepping in for our children, guys. We can't criticize them. We have to learn to love them, hug them, appreciate them, and teach them. That's what they're not getting.
And if they need them hands, we don't have time for another call. I'm sorry, caller. We got to get on out of here. Y'all know me. I'm Pertis Williams of Project Humanity. You can check me out, Humanity. That's the HUE for all of us. And unfortunately, we don't have time, caller.
Sorry, caller. And I'm Celestial Gordon Griffin.
I can hear you talking. I wish you could do it. We're going to have to get you next week. And I'm going to go over my plans. We never got a chance.
Yes, we got to go over the plans.
But check them out online.
They're great plans.
I still think it's been a great show. We had a lot to talk about. People, we'll catch y'all on the next time. And Dr. Henderson will be dragging him up in here too.
Yes.
And we thank you again for tuning in.
And we out.
Pick your mic.
I think it was going slow and then it went fast.
It sure was. Once you get over that
It went 30 minutes. That first 30.
Hey, Bridgette. Hi. Bitch, you already on Tulu tag. I should know. You already know.
What's up?
Look, I'm always gonna rep Tulu. How you been? You been all right? Good. Hey, Fabian.
Been waiting on the call, man. Did you see the plans?
What's up now?
The email I sent you? Ain't you want to run for mayor? That ain't you?
No.
That was your guest last week.
Yeah, I'm in the House of Representatives.
House of Representatives.
Yeah, no, I don't want that one. I got enough going on.
Didn't I send you some plans? Wasn't I talking to you last week?
You talked to
Somebody that was running for mayor, was it last week with y'all?
James Hopkins.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna holler at you next week since you're in the House of Representatives. You're the politician. I need to holler at you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good show.
I'm a Dixon.
All righty.
Okay, are you related to Willie Gordon?
Willie is my uncle.
Oh, this is my dog. You know my dad, Curtis.